Hi, it's Jay continuing a game with more roller derby officiating analysis. Here's a quick reminder of our ground rules. And with that, let's get back into it. And we have a new jam. Forearm penalty enforced on the black wall.
Black 3-0-1, failure to reform.
My call here is for... There's no pack called now. So basically white jammer would have a free path to go, but during the no pack there's a black blocker initiating a new blocking situation, which is a penalty during a no pack, even with no clear loss of relative position.
Black 3-0-1, failure to reform.
So basically you don't need to quit blocking from an active block completely. You don't need to give way as you would if you're out of play during a no pack, but it is a foul to initiate a new blocking situation. Scrappy packs over here. A lot of work for the inside pack refs. Good to note that when there's scrappy packs going on, the outside packer referees need to focus more on the contact, because the inside pack referees are busy defining the pack. There's a blocker penalty drop off by the jammer ref. Often a situation that calls for ref to ref communication and cooperation.
White 2-3, forearm.
Okay, lots of things going on. There was this some confusion. Well, the pack is correctly being defined by the head referee to the back here. There was this white blocker going from the box back on the track. Often a situation that causes a bit of confusion with pack definition. And here right away let's go back a bit. And here there's an forearm extension pushing the... Well, that's what my call is anyway. I call that there is a forearm extension by the white pivot pushing the jammer out of bounds. And that was the reason for the call.
White 2-3, forearm.
And there's this, whoops, sorry about my drawings. Staying on. Jammer hitting a jammer out, so the jammer needs to go behind the jammer, but they can escape away from the back, so often this type of thing can happen. And white team's calling off the jam. Pretty good hands for white team, not getting caught in a multiplayer. You can see my head tilting sideways. But this is well, at first glance it looks a lot like a clockwise block, and it might well be, but there's also the black jammer is also going back by themselves, so it can be very hard to assess whether the blocker here is actually sucking back, only taking the space that the black jammer is yielding to them, or if they're actively pushing the jammer back. And well, when you're not sure, just don't call it. Multiplayer block assist for the white wall. And this failure to reform. White jammer staying in bounds. And we are back in a slow scrum. So what you're gonna default here is, again, are the skates moving, stop blocks, and then forearms and multiplayers. And we go to the next jam. Here again, maybe like, well, it's always good to have a set of eyes on both of the jammers from the outside. But when they are like passing each other, it gets a bit fuzzy on who to actually watch. I get here stuck watching at the black jammer. And I'm watching all the way. Okay, they're out of bounds. Are they going in front? No, they're recycling. What I should be doing here is like, well, first of all, moving a bit forwards, letting the back OPR come also forwards, and changing my gaze to the jammers that's now in front, and letting the back OPR take care of this other jammer. It's a really hard thing to like, when you have an ongoing situation like this, because I'm like committed into like looking what's going on with the black jammer. It can be really hard to like let go of the one situation and switch your gaze into another situation. That's why we have 7 referees for 10 skaters at a time. One of the reasons anyway. In addition to not having a ball to stare at. Like I hear some other sports do. Again, jammer on jammer action. Looks to be a legal block to me. Hands not extending out from the body. Jammer being recycled. There was momentary split back there due to both teams making offense at the same time. Forearms penalty assist for the black wall. Multiplayer here on the front wall. Lead awarded to black. White team completing a star pass. Moving on to the next jam. Clearly in bounds on the outside. Nice apex jump on the inside. Actually, for apex jump specifically, the front OPR also often has a very good vantage point of seeing whether both the jump and the landing are in bounds. Here on the outside we see like well, what I'm watching is for this skater, they're doing offense, if the offense has legal direction or not. My assessment here, they are taking space left by the white blocker, they are not yet initiating a block. And now they are not initiating a clockwise block, they're just mostly doing lateral or in place stepping. So, looks completely legal to me. Here we see a jammer one hand out. By rule, if you're only touching out of bounds with one hand, you are still in bounds. To communicate this, a lot of referees these days use this non-standard verbal cue that you might have seen me partially doing there, pointing to my left hand with my right index finger with the hands not touching, to not confuse the signal with the forearm penalty signal. These non-standard hand signals have been getting traction last year and this year, at least in my area. Here I was watching for, let's see, here, these hands. In my assessments, the link was not challenged, so no multiplayer call there. The jammer, when the link was on, never actually tried specifically to go between those two skaters. Moving back along with the pack. That's the whole OPR crew. And the jam is ended. Again here, every time you have well, you sort of had this loose triangle for the black wall, and there is this offense skater in the middle. You need to make sure that these links between the brace and the other two skaters, that they are not challenged by the offense in a way that would constitute multiplayer blocking. Here the hands are released when the link is challenged. At least mostly. But not enough there for a multiplayer block call, in my opinion. Yeah, there was a this jammer is being blocked out of bounds. There's this black skater recycling. And it's a very tight call on whether the re-entry happens in front or back. But as we can see here, already at this point, the jammer is not touching out of bounds anymore. They have raised this back foot. So now already they have re-entered the track. So, well, my position here is very bad to actually make any kind of call on this, but at least not egregiously clear for that it's a cut. So yeah, looks good to me. And actually the same thing happening for the white skater and the black jammer. Apparently I found that funny in real time as well. My call there was another non-standard verbal cue. The jammer, white jammer, has this established trajectory on the outside, trying to go around this black skater. And the black skater is moving in front, presenting an illegal target zone. There is impact, well, there is contact to the back of the black blocker. But because it was due to the black blocker moving in front, so the initiator of the contact to the back was on the blocker, so no back block call would apply here. And there's this non-standard hand signal where you place I place my left palm outwards and place my right palm on the back of my left hand. White jammer getting cycled, OPR free positioning, white blockers out of play in the front, play continues, and now white jammer is calling off the jam. Nodding for inbounds on the black jammer. Tight scrum. Lead is awarded to black team. No earned pass here. Again, very clearly, well, white's blocker here blocking the jammer out of bounds, but falling down and going out of bounds themselves. So the black jammer is free to re-enter in front. Out of play called to the front for the black blockers, so they need to let go. Tight call off by the black jammer, not letting any points go to the opposing team. The initiator is being caught and hit out of bounds. There were other skaters also recycling, so white jammer going all the way back to the pack. In this kind of situation, there's this 3-1-3-1 thing where there's 3 white blockers and 1 black blocker in the front, and the opposite going on in the back. These are very prone to split pack situations. Well, that is mainly a concern for the inside pack referees, but when that happens, the outside needs to be aware of possible illegal contact during a no-pack situation. And there is the no-pack split call. Multiplayer assessed to the front wall. And out of play. Here again you could see, well, they are already more than 20 feet from the closest blocker, but also this distance here is more than 10 feet. As you can see from these 10 feet lines, this would be 10 feet, so you would need someone here in order for like linking this pack with this bridging skater. No pack being called again. Black pivot continuing contact, but really no impact on the block, so no penalty being assessed. You could maybe have made an argument for it to be initiating a new blocking situation, but yeah, it's subjective. I went with the no call there. My team attempting a star pass, pivot being blocked out of bounds. Black jammer choking their way through the pack. There, black jammer just staying in bounds. Here, also, again, you need to be aware of which parts of the skate are touching the ground. Here, the back wheels are clearly not touching the ground. So, jammer is in bounds. Not much noteworthy going on from a referee perspective right now. A lot of chaos in the back, but in the pack, but now the pack is speeding up, so OPRs need to. Whoa! And I wiped out. Apparently, well, as OPRs, especially when the pack is speeding up, you need to hustle yourself because obviously you have a longer way to go than the skaters. And yeah, and well, as we have already established, there's very little space on the back straightaway. Here blocker gets blocked in my way, and I'm also falling down. Maybe noteworthy when you're like falling, well, first of all, as a referee, as opposed to skater, you don't really need to be afraid of like falling. You're not gonna lose your position or not being able to draw a cut or anything like that. So you can like fall for safety in like more easily. And while it's better to like fall down and still keep looking at the track than to like make some acrobatic dance moves while you're not able to look at the track. Basically, the point is to, what you should be doing is try to be in the right position and look at the track, because if you're not doing those, then you are useless. You can't help your fellow referees. Obviously, if you're falling, try to keep your focus still on the gameplay and get up as soon as possible so you can be in position.